Les Brown said, "Do what is easy and your life will be hard. Do what is hard and your life will become easy."
I love bookkeeping.
Hey, it's Ben Robinson, and on today's I Love Bookkeeping, we are going to talk about things that are difficult, the hard things in life, because we all face those. And sometimes they are bad things, but a lot of times they are good things. Because on the other side of difficulty, on the other side of things that we have to struggle through, is usually some victory. So let me give you a couple examples from my personal life. Going through basic training in the Air Force was number one, and then passing the CPA exam, that was number two. So those were two things that I wouldn't want to go back through again for anything, but I'm very proud that I did. I went through the difficult times. Okay. Now, I wasn't in Marine Corps basic training. So for those of you who are Marines and Army, I have a lot of respect for you because it was tough enough going through Air Force boot camp. It was 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and, it was a struggle. It was something new. It was something that I had no idea what was going to be about this. You're sold a bag of goods that everything's going to be great. And then you go into basic training and figure out, hey, that was really a salesperson, the recruiter that got me in there. But what did I do? I persevered. I followed the system. I did what I was told, and I pushed through it. And when I graduated, I was so very proud. Same thing with the CPA exam. The CPA exam is a very rigorous process. You have to pass at the time 4 parts of it, and you had to take them all at one time, and less than 8% of the people who took it the first time passed it. Well, I did. I passed it on the first time. And here's why. I'm not a genius. I just put a lot of effort into it. I had 2 kids at home, and my CPA firm that I worked for at the time would give a $1,500 bonus and a $1,500 raise if you pass the CPA exam on the first time. So guess what I did? I got busy. I rolled up my sleeves. I studied. I really worked about 4 hours of sleep every single night. That's when I got addicted to caffeine, all these different things. And I'm so glad that I spent that time and that I went through that difficult circumstance so that I could pass the CPA exam and I didn't have to do it again. Now, let's frame this for you, because typically it doesn't matter where you are in the evolution of your bookkeeping business. You may be thinking about starting one. You may have just started one. You may be 20 years into it. But the fact remains that we have difficulties. There are things in our life that we do not want to do. And so today what I want to do is chat with you about this, about how we overcome that, about how we identify those difficult things. Because usually on the other side of them is something that we want. On the very side of the struggle that we have to go through, on the other side is the very thing that we want. So what I want you to do is I want you to take out a pad and paper or your iPad or whatever that you use to write on. And I want you to list out the difficult things in your life right now as it relates to your business. And you can also do this on your personal side of things as well. But what we're focusing on here is in your bookkeeping business. What is it that you're struggling with? Or a better way, what is it that you're avoiding? If you look at your to-do list, if you go back through it for the last month or 2 months, what are the things that you're putting off? Because typically that's telling us that that's the difficult thing. That's the thing that we don't want to do. For instance, you may be putting off going to that networking event, but you know that if you go to a networking event and if you do it the right way, you're going to get those clients. And that is what you want because that's going to give you a lifestyle of freedom. It's going to give you a padded bank account, but you're very nervous and you're very reluctant to go to that networking event. And trust me, I'm an introvert and I understand that, but I had to get over myself and I had to do that thing. So what I want you to do is to list out all those things that you're avoiding. And then I want you to categorize them. And I want you to say, hey, what would happen? Okay. I love the what if questions, but what would happen if I did this thing? What would happen if I would not be delaying anymore on the very thing that I know that I need to do? What is the best case scenario? What is the worst case scenario? Going back to our networking event, if I went there and I fell on my face, so what? Right? What's the worst case? Well, I'm not going to prison. Nobody is not going to love me anymore. My family is still going to know that I'm around, all these things. So a lot of times we have to trick our minds into looking at what is going to happen. What is the benefit that's going to get us there? Because our subconscious is telling us, hey, you don't like this. This is something that's awkward for you. So don't do it. Well, don't. You've got to get over that. We've got to force ourselves to do those things. So it could be that, hey, you know what? I know that, for instance, here, we needed to build a new set. I've never built a set before, but I knew that if I did, I could have a much better appeal. I knew that we could have a much better feeling with everything that we do. And so that was one thing. I didn't know how to do it. It was something that I was avoiding, but finally I had to bite the proverbial bullet and just go and do that. So what is the difficult thing for you? Now, some of the difficult things, obviously, are things that we can't avoid, things that we don't want to embrace. An illness, not being able to work, things like that. Obviously, on the other side of that is probably not something good. But what are those difficult things that you know on the other side of it is going to give you progress, is going to get you closer to that life that you desire? Now, this also brings up the subject of busy versus breakthrough. So there's a lot of times if you look at your to-do lists, there's busy work. And basically this means this is stuff that we do to avoid the things that we really need to do. Going back to my example of networking, I could, clean up my computer desktop. I could do things like, organize my files and stuff like that. But those are really things that don't turn the knob. Those are things that don't get me closer to the life that I desire. But the thing that I'm avoiding is the very thing that I need to do, go into that networking event. Now, for a lot of people, I bring up networking and I bring up marketing because that's one of the things that as bookkeeping professionals, we avoid. Okay. We're introverts, and what makes us good as bookkeeping professional also makes us very reluctant to do the things that we need to do as it comes to marketing. So what we have to do here is we just have to do it. There's a book by Dr. Susan Jeffers, the late Dr. Susan Jeffers, that says, feel the fear and do it anyway. That's the title of the book. And I recommend that you read that because it's so profound, yet so simple. Just the title explains everything. Feel the fear and do it anyway. So whatever it is that you fear, just being able to say that, to verbalize what that fear is out loud. Yes, it's a little bit goofy, but say, you know what? I'm afraid of going to this networking event. And I'm afraid of going to this networking event because what if I sound like an idiot? What if I don't know what to say? What if I don't meet anybody? What if they laugh at me? What if they don't like bookkeepers? I mean, the mind just goes on and on and on, trying to get you to not do the very thing that you need to do. You see, our lives, our subconscious loves to take over. It's like a river. A river doesn't go uphill. It can't go uphill. It goes to the least frictioned path. And our lives do the same thing. So whenever we're trying to do something new, our bodies, our minds take over and say, we're not going down that path. We want to go down the path that we've always done because I know that and it requires less energy. This is built into our psychology. So I want to encourage you to first and foremost identify those difficult things that you're avoiding, those difficult things that on the other side of is going to be a victory for you. What are those? List them out. And after you have done that, I want you to pick the top 3. Because there's a lot of things that we could be doing. There's a lot of things that we should be doing. There's only a few things, I should say, that we should be doing. And I want you to figure out what are those should be things. Okay? So list out the top 3 things. And the very first one, I want you to focus on wholeheartedly. Going back to my example of networking. Okay? So what am I going to do? I'm going to make myself go to a networking event. I'm going to schedule that. I'm going to find an accountability partner that's going to drag me there on the morning that I don't want to get up. I'm going to do all kinds of things. But what I'm really going to do is keep in mind what's going to happen on the other side of that. I'm going to get clients. No, I'm not going to get clients that day. I'm not going to get it the next week. It may take months. It may take a year before I get clients, but I'm planting seeds. I'm getting out there and I'm having accountability. And that's very important. Having that accountability, having someone that's going to say, hey, I'm going to call BS on what you're saying right now. You need to get out there and do that. And you can be the same thing for them, right? And so we here at I Love Bookkeeping and all of our sister companies, we have a lot of accountability groups and communities, and you can certainly check those out by going to ilovebookkeeping.com. But I want to encourage you today to do something for yourself, to do something for your family. And that's to list out those difficult things and to start working on them and to start taking action. It's so important that you do that. Maybe you're thinking about starting your bookkeeping business. You know that you would be a great fit for it based upon everything that we've talked about, but you just haven't pulled the trigger. Why is that? Start thinking about it. Start understanding yourself. Start understanding how your mind works and how it's tricking you into not doing the things that you need to do. Maybe if it's your established business, that there's a couple of clients that you really need to let go because they're losers and they drain you. Every time you get an email or a phone call from them, you just want to crawl up into a corner and not have to talk to them and suck our thumbs, right? It's time to let them go. Why are you avoiding that? Why are you not having the difficult conversation with them? And trust me, it's not easy, right? I'm not here to say that I can do that. Letting go of a client, letting go of a team member are the two worst things about this business. but they need to be done. They are difficult. Nobody else is going to do them for you. So thank you for listening today. I want to encourage you to list out these difficult things and to focus on one and to overcome it. So again, if you would like to check out all the episodes of I Love Bookkeeping, if you would like to check out the show notes and then all the programs that we have from our sister companies, please go to ilovebookkeeping.com. Until next time, this is Ben Robbins saying thank you for being a great bookkeeping professional. I'll see you in the next episode of I Love Bookkeeping. Head on over to ilovebookkeeping.com. There, you're going to find all of the shows, the notes, and some other great goodies that we have for you there. Now, if you'd like to be a guest on the I Love Bookkeeping show, there is a link that says Be a Guest. Go in there, and we'll walk you through the process of getting on the show. And finally, to discover more about our programs, go to the courses page on the ilovebookkeeping.com site. There you have it, another great episode of I Love Bookkeeping. Thank you for being a proud listener, and thank you for being a bookkeeping professional. Enjoy the rest of your week.
I love bookkeeping. Here's a little